Early in practice, just couldn't get it right, and he's obviously Kevin and those guys are taking care of it, getting him right, and do whatever it takes to get healthy and get him back.
What specifically is the back issue? Or?
That's a question for Kevin. I really don't know that exact whatever of the details of it, but obviously back.
Chase, have he been battling through that a little bit? Because we looked like his kind of numbers are down a little bit this year.
No, obviously he's always has some stuff. He always doing work on it, making sure it's strong, and a lot of things that he's always dealt with his entire life, but it hasn't been bothering him, none of those issues.
Something that he had kind of lived with for a while then, like some lower back pain?
Yeah, I guess he had it in college. He's been dealing with it for a long time, and nothing major, just spasms or something, whatever, like little pains that, just trying to, if he does the stretches, he does all the things he can do to maintain his body, it's a non-issue. And yesterday, something irritated it, one movement somewhere caught it, and it was unfortunate.
What can you tell us about the guy you brought in?
Obviously, he's been consistent. The biggest thing is the key is he's worked with Zane, and I think on a short week that's huge for us. The comfortability with those two doing everything together, and JJ being able to adapt and making the operation just as clean as possible. And the biggest thing for him is just consistent punter, good in the plus 50 area. Those type of things that we need to accommodate and accomplish this week and make it work.
Could you see him playing in Sunday? Like, do you think he's ready enough to play Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be. Right, it is what it is. He's got to be ready. So we're getting there. He came out and had a day today and worked back into it with our operation, holding and punting, and had a good solid first day as a first outing. And we'll make sure everything's detailed up and right for Sunday.
Have you guys done anything with Zane to help him hit touchbacks, or has it just kind of been helped the fact that a couple of doors?
Yeah, we moved his footwork. He had moved in Arizona to a 5-step shorter approach, or 5-yard approach, and obviously didn't have the build-up momentum and the power with it. And so, just going back and looking through it and trying to develop how we can get him to add some yardage and hang time to his kickoffs. We kind of been tweaked with the steps a little bit. We had the Thursday game coming after the first one, so we couldn't get it all the way adjusted. The steps didn't feel quite right. We didn't want anything out of bounds, no issues like that. So, the next week he came back, and he, to his credit, his ability to work on it and perfect it and take ownership for it was the biggest thing that's helped him.
I know you're not within the previous spot, but why wouldn't someone make that adjustment if they're not reaching those contracts?
Some guys look for hang-up. There's a lot of teams that just try to hang the ball up to the goal line with good direction and believe that's the better way. That's the philosophy of each team. And so I think when he was there with those teams, that was what they were trying to do, was pin guys deep and put the ball in between the 5 and the goal line and pin them inside the 25 is, their hopeful goal. Obviously, we didn't get it done the first week, and we moved some things around and did some different things, and it's helped us out.
So what are your plans for punting this Sunday? You got?
I mean, Ryan, yeah, got to be able to go, and we'll see exactly what it goes. Joe, how Joe's whole deal is, and but if Joe's out, we got to go. Ryan's got to be able to operate and move on.
Do you get an idea what Joe's timeline might be? I mean, I guess minimum of 3, right?
Yeah. I don't know the exact on that.
And you said Winslow was with Zane in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. They work together there. Yep.
Just the one season.
Correct. And then I think they had an off season together too, a little bit, that they had done some stuff. So there's a decent amount of familiarity there.
Did you work some of that, the kick, field goal, PAT mechanics today with those guys?
Oh yeah, I mean we spent time up here pre-practice in the stadium, and while everyone else is doing walkthroughs and that kind of stuff, and getting the mechanics of it, and then going into with Ryan doing the same thing with our punt mechanics of what we're doing with each call, and obviously that's a point of emphasis for him, get him caught up on everything, and he's a pro. That's one thing, he has a great attitude, a willingness to learn, and is eager to do it. So you get those 3 things in combination, you have a chance with a guy and go out and execute and play consistent.
Chase, when you look back at the film from Sunday, what exactly happened on the punt block, and how did that kind of break down?
So much stuff. Obviously, not a great call on my part. We got to get the ball out faster. we gotta, it's inexcusable. We should never go block punt. Like at the end of the day, like we can't ever in that situation, any situation, but especially in a situation where we're in a ball game, fourth quarter, we got to get the ball out faster. We've got to be able to go to that. We've got to protect. We had breakdown in the center of protection. Didn't get the call sent the way we wanted based upon the look, and guys we didn't stay tight. We didn't the wide. They've got to set deep. We can't set wide. We can't expand out and put guys on islands, and that's what happened in that situation. Inexcusable.
It looked like JJ kind of slipped after was that a footing thing?
Yeah, he stepped on. I think he stepped on our right guard's foot. I think it was Gio. I think he stepped on his foot right when he got like the snapper pick and kind of rolled over top of it, and not something. He's got that look a million times and hundreds of times, and he's done an excellent job. He's as good as anyone in this league doing it, and it is what it. Got to own it and go.
Way past.
Yeah, it was a snapper pick. I mean, it was a good. They executed.
What do you call it?
Snapper pick. They executed it, and we didn't. That's the end of the story.
Earlier in the game, because there was another one where they got on Joe pretty quick.
They just ran a straight jet early in the game, 4x4 straight vertical. They're setting up that. I mean, they got everything they wanted, and we didn't execute. And that's the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's on me. Like, nobody else. I got to take all blame on that.
Speaking of protections, you guys had struggled with field goal protection earlier in the year. Do you feel like you've rectified those issues?
Yeah, I do. I feel like the personnel-wise, as well as some of the techniques that we adjusted on the inside and our end-wing hinge has really solidified that. If you look back at the film the last couple weeks, we have had minimal pressure, and got to keep the paint clean. That's our number one goal. O-lineman, it's not like any other play. Be dominant, have dominant contact, be violent, and strain through everything. And obviously, the operation time coming down has helped us as well.
You were saying on that pump block, you had the guys too wide and you needed to pinch them in. Is that kind of the call?
They didn't stay straight back on the tracks. We kick slide on our tracks, and what we expanded to get to 3 and can't do it. We just did execute. Bad coaching, bad everything.
Who's your emergency punter?
Zane.
Is Winslow your emergency kicker?
We'll find out tomorrow. I know PJ's kicked. Obviously, he kicked in high school. Yeah, so he's an athlete. He can punt.
Kick it out there.
Last year we did a little. So we'll see. We got to keep. That's something you always got to be accountable and ready for, and situation in the game that we'd be able to go with.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Now, did you say PJ or DJ? Ryan, welcome to Charlotte. What was it like getting to see Zane again, catching back up with him?
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was good. Good to see a familiar face. Obviously, I spent some time with Zane out in Arizona, so good to see him again, and I'm glad he's doing well.
How much of a factor is that? I mean, just knowing him, being able to hold, having some experience doing that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Helped you walk in the door.
Yeah, it's definitely good. We have that rapport. I know how he likes the ball, the tilt on the ball and the lean, and he knows how I set up when I'm holding. So that familiarity aspect is definitely a plus. So, definitely helps.
Do you think that was a big reason they turned to you, to come in addition to the punting?
It's possible, yeah.
And what were the last 24 hours like for you?
So definitely interesting. This is always something that is in the back of your mind, can happen when you're a free agent like that. And obviously, this is my 4th go around. So, it's a possibility. So, I'm sticking to a routine back home, working a little bit. So I was interesting telling. So I was doing some sales work for my uncle's apparel business. So it was neat to text him and say, hey, just a heads up, I'm flying down to Charlotte, so I might not be in for a little bit. But yeah, but you still have to prepare like this could happen. So I'm just excited to be here.
How'd your uncle take the news?
Well, I still haven't told him that I signed, so I'm sure he's gonna be pumped and be fired up. So
He'll be happy for you.
absolutely.
He's on Twitter. He may know already.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long had you been, working with your uncle? How long had you been working with your uncle?
Probably since I got released from Arizona. So the last 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. It is in Philly. Yeah, it's called the Runaround. So I'll shamelessly plug his business.
Athletic gear?
It is. He team outfitting. He has the ability to print logos on gear and things like that. So.
You mentioned you've been doing some work just to kind of stay loose. We'll kind of go through what specifically you've been doing as far as like what your routine had been to stay loose.
Absolutely. So go to the field 3 times a week to punt. Make sure I'm staying in a rhythm there. Going to the gym and doing the weightlifting and the stretching and flexibility exercises I need to kind of stay ready. And at this point, I kind of have that down to a little bit of a science. I know what I need and know what my body needs to kind of be ready to step in if a situation like this would occur. So.
Put anything on tape, or is that kind of not a thing you need to do?
You can. I don't personally. Yeah, I don't.
I'd be interested in hearing more about Go Around. Were you selling for them?
The Runaround.
Runaround, sorry.
Just trying to get some new accounts for them, helping out, the sales guys there and helping my uncle with any sort of miscellaneous things he needed. Solid. Yeah, it was solid. Yeah, I was still learning. It was. I was fresh. I was the fresh new guy.
So what would the typical day be like for you? You go to work and then after you go kick, or?
No, so usually I like to do that in the morning. So I'll wake up, go to the field. If it's a punting day, get some punts in, get some leg swings in. Go to the gym, do some stretching, weightlifting, anything I needed, and then would go to his shop probably 10:30, 11, and then stay till 5:30, depending on what he needed for that particular day. So.
Solid at it, but not good enough to equate punting in the NFL type numbers.
Yeah. Yes.
Your shoes are really, really important. So did you just travel down here with shoes, or you got something going? What's going on with
Yeah,
the shoe part?
I brought my cleats with me, so that's really all I needed.
Had you been working out and had any other workouts prior to this since the end of the season?
Yes.
Where have you been?
I was up with the Jets. I'm not sure what week it was. They had an injury, and I was at the workout there with a handful of other guys.
What do you think would be most important in you trying, if you are called up to play, and you've been able to, I guess, be at your best or play well? What's
Sure.
important for you?
I think it's just stepping up to the situation, stepping up to the plate. I think I'm here for a reason. They brought me down here for a reason. So, I'm excited if I get that opportunity just to make the most of it and, trust my ability and know that I'm good enough to, compete at a high level.
How many shoes does a kicker travel with when he has to go?
2 pairs. Yeah.
Ryan, where were you? Well, like when you would go punt in Philly, where would you go?
My high school. My high school field. LaSalle High School in Winmore.
Is that in Center?
It's not in Center City. It's Winmore's probably 10 miles from Center City or 12 miles. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it depended on the day. Sometimes there'd be a local free agent guy who would come with me, or sometimes I was by myself. So it just depended on the day.
What time? I guess you'd have to be out there before the high school team
I would go in the
practice.
morning, and it was one of the practice fields, so it was, somewhat isolated. So I had the field to myself. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right, for sure. I ain't gonna give y'all no more gems with the Christian McCaffrey shit or none of that, but like, no more gems, no more gems. No, I just, people. Anyway, how y'all doing? Let's go. It's doing better, just nerve stuff, but Coach Rule will cover anything y'all have to have about, injuries.
Something you dealt with before though,
Yeah.
is it something you ever had surgery on?
No.
It's something you think you gonna have just deal with it, will pop up from time to time?
We'll see, man. It's a long year. Man, try to get as healthy as possible before Sundays. That's all we can do.
What are the discussions like between the offensive linemen and to try to get more protection for Sam?
If we're being 100% honest, we know we haven't blocked as well as we needed to the last couple of weeks, but it's growing pains. There's been a lot of different guys going in there. Last week you saw an elite right tackle play on the left, and it's just different. That's what I've been trying to tell people for years after playing all five. It's different, but we understand and we have a sense of urgency that to go out and block and do what we need to do. We believe in each other. We believe in what we got in that room. So. Everything else is just kind of outside noise. We just have to be sharp. We have to execute, and we have to just play with an edge. That's just point blank. Period.
You guys only had your full deck basically one game this year, week 2 against the Saints. What would it mean if you were out there, Pat was out there, and had everybody, at least the projected starters, would be out there for the first time since then?
It feel good, we're working towards all that. It's just like I said, we go through a whole training camp playing beside one person. You develop a communication, you develop chemistry, and somebody else steps into that spot. It's hard. They have to play catch up, and when you go, like I said, man, it's just a lot of different combinations, and communication is the biggest thing on offensive line, being able to communicate effectively without telling your whole play. And, that's just a big part of what we do. So just trying to get back out there and get healthy. Everybody on this team is just trying to do the same thing. Just get back out there.
Cam, will you have one of the Vikings, do they kind of line up on one end and stay there, or do they flip their guys around?
Traditionally, I feel like the Vikings did, but, this year they've kind of switched guys, and Danielle Hunter will rush over the left more than I've seen him rush over the left in his career. Everson Griffin stays on the left most of the time, but, like this NFL. You got to be ready for everything. You prepare for everybody who's on the field. You have to know your personnel.
Sounds like you think you'll see both of them.
Most definitely.
Experience against both those guys over the years, or one more than other?
I played against Everson a few years ago in Kansas City, and I played with him in Dallas last year. So, his reputation speaks for itself. He has the potential to be a Hall of Fame player. He's done a lot of great things in his career. He plays with a high motor still. What is his year? 11 for him? 12. So, that's one of those games you have to be ready to go out and play on the edges, both sides, because they have 2 elite pass rushers. So.
Frustrating at all, you get back, Pat looks like he's back, and now Christian looks like kind of step back a little bit.
It's like I said, man, it's football. We have to. We all understand that it's next man up, and we understand that it's a long season. We understand that injuries happen and things happen that we can't control. So all we can do is control what we can control, and rehab and do everything we can to try to get back on the field. Christian's one of our best players. We all know that. So, him not being out there hurts, but nobody in this building is working to get back on that field harder than Christian McCaffrey. So, you have to, these are opportunities for guys like Chuba and Royce, guys to grow and guys to get opportunities. So when he is back in there, some of the load can be taken off of him. They go in there and you don't miss a beat. So, it's important to have everybody healthy, of course, but it's the NFL. We all understand that, you know, injuries are a thing, and injuries happen, and you just have to deal with them the best way you can.
Result aside, how did it feel to see Chuba have the kind of game that he did last week?
And I was proud of Chuba. I mean, he fought through a lot, ran hard, protected his behind off in the pass game. I mean, like I said, it's only up for him. I mean, I told Chuba when he got drafted a long time ago, man, that, you know, I watched him play at Oklahoma State. So I remember, you know, seeing some of the things that he can do, and I was excited to get out here on the field and play with him. And he, you know, he's settling into his role. He's settling into, you know, himself being in the NFL. And, I mean, you're only going to continue to see good things from him.
The outside noise a second ago. How hard is it to just live your life and not see messages on your phone or text or hear things on the radio? How hard is it to actually cancel out that noise?
I mean, it used to be harder, especially as a young guy. But, you know, being in the NFL for a while now, I mean, you just deal with it. You know, for me personally, I don't really do the social media during the season or stuff like that because, you know, people get a lot of this stuff confused and they think football is real life, but they don't understand who we are in real life. So, you know, they can say whatever they want on a screen or on a monitor or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, those same people saw us. They'd ask for a picture or autograph. So, I mean, that's just how you put things in perspective. But, you know, it is what it is. It's exactly what I said before, noise. Everybody in this locker room understands that we have to go out with a sense of urgency and that we have to go out and we have to perform better than we have. And everything else that comes from the outside in, you know, that's just, like I said, it is what it is. You know, you just disregard it. We laugh about a lot of this stuff, so, you know.
Did it take you a couple years, though, to develop a little bit of a thick skin like that?
Yeah, most definitely. When I was in college, I was, you know, very underrated. So I looked at things like that and things that people said about me, and I used it as motivation. I tried to do the same thing when I got to the NFL, but it's like, you know, you see one thing, and then it's like 100 people responding to this, and then it's like 50 more people responding to this. So, you know, it kind of gets out of hand. But like I said, man, you just got to have laser focus. You got to ignore everything that's happening out there. This is a hard game to play. And a lot of people don't really get that. They just look at it and they want to see touchdowns and 60, 70-yard runs. And that's not the game. I mean, yeah, it happens when you take advantage of, you know, looks that you get. But, I mean, this is when you're on good teams, you understand, like, what style of play you have to play with. And we understand what style of play we have to play with. And we haven't done that the last couple weeks. And you've seen our production drop. But there's still good things within it, you know. It's not all bad. So you just got to take, you know, it's learning for everybody.
What style of play do you have to play with?
I mean, we have good running backs in the backfield. We have to be able to run the ball effectively and run it consistently throughout the entire game and control the clock. Our defense, I believe, is elite. We have a lot of young guys on this defense that are hungry to get better. We have a lot of young guys on this defense who are very talented. And we just have to continue to give those guys the opportunities to, you know, grow into those roles. So, like I said, man, just managing the game, running the ball effectively, you know, and, you know, just passing the ball, taking the shots when we need to, you know, here, there. You know, Sam does his thing. So, I said, man, we know as the O-line we have to protect better, and we know we have to do things more efficiently for him.
Practice the last couple of weeks. Notice anything differently, be either aggressiveness or anything the last couple of weeks as opposed to maybe the first 3 weeks or the first 4 weeks of the season? Notice anything different?
To be honest, not really, man. I mean, we go out there and we try to get better every day. The biggest thing, and this is something that we talked about earlier, it was just going out and doing intentional work. Being intentional about what you want to get better at every day. You know, when you look at this game, it all seems so big. It seems like it's so much going on. And I mean, it's true in a way, in a lot of ways. But, you know, once you prioritize what you have to do individually to get better every day, you know, those are the things you think about. You know, I'm not thinking about pass routes. I'm not thinking about concepts for that. I'm thinking about the guys we're playing in front of, the guys we're playing across from us on defense. I'm thinking about the techniques I need to use, things that I didn't do well prior to that game, you know, going out and trying to correct those things and just, you know, focusing and being intentional about that. So.
Thanks, Cam.
Oh, yeah. Y'all have a good one.
And to clarify, concern, not really. Something I got to adjust to, yeah. You know, at times they may put a tight end in my position just to slow me down, or they've been cutting me a lot recently, you know, or back chips. Like, it's any regular person, like, you know what I mean? But it's just certain things you got to adjust to. That's all it is.
How come you've been drawing that and not Hassan?
How come? I can't answer that question.
Has it seemed like they are tilting your way?
I mean, I feel like he get his fair share of chips the same way I do. It's just like when you get your opportunity, you got to capitalize on it. So that's pretty much how I see it. So anytime I see a one-on-one and I don't capitalize, I kind of be a little disappointed. But I just got to make those opportunities count.
When they do stuff like put the tight end in front of you, like you're saying, how does that change your approach to what you got doing that assignment typically?
It just may alter your angle or just mess with your head a little bit. That's why they put that guy in that area. But it's my job to not, you know, just see through that and just to know that they're just putting him there just to mess me up. But if I go full speed and I attack it how I would if he wasn't there, then there would be no problem.
What have you guys been doing this week? Anyone kind of keeping you guys loose in order to not get, you know, tense and tighten up and just, you know, stay free?
Keeping us loose?
Yeah, just mentally loose on practice, not tense, not about too.
Pretty much, I say the team as a whole. I mean, everybody's just keeping each other accountable. I mean, as far as like trying to loosen up the mood and everything, just because we lost these last two games, like it's not really that. It's not kind of how we're looking at it right now. We're just looking at it as attacking this week as its own week. You know what I mean? So like what happened in the past, just leaving it there. We're gonna learn from it, of course, but just attacking this week like it's a new week.
How important is it to forget a loss, even a win sometimes, and be able to move on, have a short memory in the NFL?
Never really forget it. Never really forget it. You just kind of want to learn from it, like letting that game go and having them stick around and they beat us in the fourth quarter. We got to learn, like, now we need to really put somebody away when we have them on the ropes. You know what I mean? So like finishing, that's like a lesson learned. So, but it's great to move on. You know what I mean? You don't want to harp on that for too long. You want to get to the next opponent. So that's basically what we're doing.
Matt seemed to put a lot of emphasis on the two drives you guys didn't finish there at the end, even though one of them was on a short field. What does that say about kind of the responsibility that your unit has in terms of carrying the team?
That tells me he believes in our defense and he has a high expectations for it, pretty much. Honestly, I agree with him. If we're leading at any point of the game, I feel like we shouldn't be beat. Like, I feel like our defense should go out there and do our job. Our job is to stop them, open the field goals, whatever the case may be. So I feel like he hit it on the head, to be honest.
Similar to that, Coach had mentioned that the philosophy, if the other team scores more points than you guys, then you didn't play great defense. As a philosophy from the coordinator. What are your thoughts on that kind of mentality when you hear that for your team?
Like I just said, it's just high expectations for the defense. Like, we have to live up to them. Like, you know what I mean? So I honestly feel like we got the guys on this defense to shut people out. You feel me? So, like, one of the biggest emphasis we got is fourth quarter shutouts. And that's what we have to get done. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just how I look at it.
Brian, by the end of that game, there were a lot of Eagles fans making a lot of noise in here. That bother you guys at all?
Not really. I can't really tell who's making what noise.
Did you see the Eagles fans
Yeah,
get on the field?
Yes, I saw a couple of them.
Do you think about going to get them?
So the dude that just said, nah. If you'd have ran by me, probably.
You guys had a pretty good practice yesterday. I don't know how things were today, but can you talk about, from your perspective, what practice has been like, or any kind of, not exact conversation, but just talks guys have had about this week?
Oh, it's just been real dialed in. Everybody paying attention to the details, and they're really focused as far as like their responsibility. But other than that, I can see an edge that I ain't seen in a while. You know what I mean? So like that edge we had in camp, I'm seeing that come back from that practice that we had yesterday.
A clue to what that edge looks like? Was it on the practice field or just in the locker room? The edge that you're seeing?
That's what I seen.
How do you lose that?
Say, how do you lose it? I don't know. Maybe just getting a little too comfortable. I mean, it happens to everybody. We're all humans. It happens to everybody. But honestly, I just haven't seen it in a little minute. But that practice right there showed that it's still there.
Was that like full-on live contact type of deal?
Nah, not mid-season. We ain't gonna do it like that. Nah.
But I had heard either Matt or someone else say yesterday that y'all did ramp up the intensity.
We're not gonna take nobody to the ground. We ain't trying to get nobody hurt. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna intentionally try to, like, you feel me, like mess up nobody. Nah, we're gonna say that for the other team. You feel me? But it was intense.
be able to go good on good at this point of the season?
It means a lot. I mean, it's just a competitive edge. Like when you go against some good competition, like you both work like what they say, iron sharpens iron. You feel what I'm saying? So when I get to go against Timo full force, you feel me, and I'm throwing my moves and he's blocking me or whatever the case may be, it's just getting better. So that's kind of how I see it, and it's like I was saying, like we're gonna take care of each other. We're not finna like dump anybody down, or he's not gonna, like, if I slip, he's not gonna like try to finish me like he'll do somebody else on the other team. So as long as we keep it like that, we take care of each other, we can definitely get better.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, y'all.